Welcome to Myths and Mysticism of Rivers. Today we journey deep into the lungs of our planet, into the depths of a river so vast, so ancient, and so enigmatic, it holds secrets buried beneath jungle canopies and underground currents. This is not just a river, it's a world unto itself. If you're fascinated by ancient secrets, strange phenomena, and the mystical forces shaping our world, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss an expedition through the hidden stories of Earth's great rivers. The river that defies. Definition. The Amazon River is more than a body of water. It's a living system larger than most countries. Stretching across 6,992 kilometers, depending on how you define its source, the Amazon competes with, and in many definitions surpasses, Africa's Nile as the longest river on Earth. Every second, the Amazon pours more than 209,000 cubic meters of water into the Atlantic Ocean. In just one day, this flow could supply the entire city of New York with water for over a decade. Yet, for all its size, there's something almost mythological about the Amazon. No bridge spans its main course. Not one. It remains as untamed as the wilderness it feeds. The river of 1,000 names. The Amazon changes names as it crosses borders and biomes. Marañón in Peru, Solimões in Brazil, and finally the Amazon as it nears the Atlantic. It's not just the names that shift, the colors do too. The Rio Negro flows black as ink. The Madeira shimmers with a golden red hue. At the meeting of waters near Manaus, the Rio Negro and the Solimões run side by side for miles without mixing, creating a surreal vision. Two different worlds in one riverbed. The forest that breathes life. Surrounding the Amazon River like a green ocean lies the Amazon rainforest, an ecosystem so vast, complex, and ancient that scientists often refer to it as the world's gene pool. This immense forest covers over 5.5 million square kilometers, an area larger than the entire European Union. It stretches across 9 countries, from Brazil and Peru to Colombia, Venezuela, and beyond. But its borders are not fixed, because the forest itself breathes, expands, and contracts with the seasons. And within this expanse, 1 in every 10 known species on Earth calls the Amazon home. Here, life exists in overwhelming abundance. A single hectare of rainforest can harbor over 400 species of trees and more than 1,000 species of insects. Some creatures are barely the size of a thumbnail, others are giants. Jaguars, stealthy and sacred in many indigenous mythologies, move like ghosts through the underbrush, almost never seen by human eyes. Harpy eagles, with wingspans wider than a grown man is tall, soar above the canopy. And in the murky waters below, pink river dolphins, or botos, glide silently among submerged tree trunks, often associated with spirits in native folklore. But it's not just the visible life that astounds. The forest itself behaves like a living organism. Through a subterranean network of mycorrhizal fungi, trees communicate, share nutrients, and even warn each other of danger. Scientists call this the wood wide web. When a tree is attacked by insects, it can signal others to release defensive chemicals. When one dies, it passes its resources to younger saplings. It's a system of intelligence we're only beginning to understand, a kind of natural internet created long before our own. And there's something profoundly mystical in that. For centuries, the Amazon has fueled legends, not only of strange animals, but of mysterious people. The forest's density hid them well, but now, thanks to satellite imagery and aerial scanning technologies, we're learning that it wasn't as untouched as once believed. Hidden beneath the thick green canopy are signs of vast, organized human settlements, ancient earthworks, geometric mounds, road systems, canals, and even what may have been ceremonial structures. These remnants suggest that the Amazon was once home to thriving civilizations, societies that lived in harmony with the forest, cultivating it not by clearing it, but by shaping it subtly into a garden forest. Unlike the towering stone monuments of Egypt or Mesopotamia, the Amazon's ancient architecture was made from earth, wood, and plants, materials reclaimed by the jungle over time. As a result, their cities disappeared almost without a trace. But now, with the help of LiDAR technology, which uses lasers to penetrate vegetation, archaeologists are revealing an ancient landscape that redefines everything we thought we knew about the Amazon. These were engineered ecosystems, not wilderness. And that raises deeper questions. Who were these people? What knowledge did they possess about medicine, agriculture, the stars, and how much of it was lost when their civilizations faded? Forgotten cities of the jungle. Beneath the dense, whispering canopy of the Amazon, a hidden history is slowly being revealed. For centuries, scholars assumed the rainforest was too wild, too inhospitable to support complex civilizations. The annual floods, dense vegetation, and lack of stone seemed to rule out the rise of cities. But the jungle, it turns out, is a master of concealment. In the remote Llanos de Mojos region of Bolivia, a vast savanna that floods seasonally like a breathing lung, archaeologists have unearthed astonishing secrets. Beneath what was once dismissed as untamed wilderness lie the remains of sophisticated urban landscapes. The Casarabe culture, long forgotten by history, flourished here more than 600 years ago. Thanks to LiDAR technology, a revolutionary method that uses lasers to scan through forest cover, researchers have digitally peeled back the canopy, and what they found was nothing short of extraordinary. Road networks stretch in straight lines across dozens of kilometers. Raised causeways and canals reveal advanced hydraulic engineering. And towering over the forest floor are the ghostly outlines of pyramidal structures, some over 20 meters high, built with precision and symbolic alignment. These weren't small tribal encampments. They were planned cities, complete with ceremonial centers, astronomical alignments, and monumental architecture. This changes everything. For decades, the prevailing narrative claimed the Amazon could not sustain dense human populations. But these findings, alongside others in Brazil and Peru, suggest the opposite, that the rainforest once pulsed with life, culture, and engineering feats that rivaled those of the Inca and Maya. So who were the Casarabe? They left no written records. Their cities, once vibrant with ritual, agriculture, and trade, were swallowed by time and trees. By the 1400s, their presence vanishes from the archaeological record. Some speculate that climatic shifts or disease played a role. Others wonder if conquest, collapse, or cultural migration dispersed them into legend. To indigenous communities living nearby, the forest still holds memory. Some elders speak of stone hills, where spirits sleep, or sacred mounds that should never be touched. These may be ancient sites, remembered not through books, but through whispers, rituals, and stories passed from mouth to mouth over generations. The jungle may have devoured these cities, but it never forgot them. And now, with each new scan from the skies, we're learning that beneath the roots and vines lie entire civilizations waiting to be remembered. The river beneath the river. In 2011, something remarkable was discovered. Beneath the Amazon flows a second, darker twin, the Hamza River. Located 4 kilometers underground, the Hamza mimics the Amazon's flow direction, stretching over 6,000 kilometers. But it's no ordinary river. Its flow is slow, less than a millimeter per second, like a glacier of water. Still, its volume is vast enough to discharge thousands of cubic meters into the ocean every second, silently nourishing the Atlantic from below. This discovery forced scientists to rethink everything they knew about subterranean hydrology and raised new questions. Could there be life down there? Could ancient civilizations have tapped into it? What else lies beneath our feet? Beasts from the deep past. Before the Amazon was a river, it was an inland sea, and long before humans ever walked its shores, monsters ruled its depths. Over 60 million years ago, in the humid aftermath of the dinosaur extinction, a new apex predator emerged from the swamps, Titanoboa. This ancient serpent stretched over 13 meters, longer than a school bus, and weighed more than a ton. It moved like a living shadow through steamy floodplains, crushing crocodile-like prey in coils thicker than a tree trunk. It was nature's nightmare, perfected. Titanoboa has long since vanished, but the echoes of such giants still ripple through the waters of the Amazon. Today, modern beasts prowl these riverways and forests, each one stranger and deadlier than the last. There are piranhas, whose reputation for ferocity is no myth. In feeding frenzies, they can strip flesh from bone in minutes, leaving behind nothing but skeletons. There are electric eels, able to discharge up to 600 volts, enough to stun, kill, or even knock a horse unconscious. There are black caimans, prehistoric reptiles lying still for hours in muddy banks, with jaws capable of snapping bone in an instant. And there are poison dart frogs, dazzling in color and deadly to the touch. Just a few micrograms of their toxin could end a human life. But in the Amazon, not all monsters have bodies. Across the jungle, tribal stories whisper of shapeshifters and river spirits, of entities that glide just beneath the surface, sometimes seen as glowing lights, other times as shadows that stalk the edges of the forest. These spirits go by many names: encantados, the seductive river dolphins who take human form; mapinguari, the forest guardian with a stench so foul it paralyzes prey; boitata, a fiery serpent of light that floats over wetlands, protecting sacred groves. Whether these beings are metaphor, memory, or something else entirely, they command respect. Many Amazonian tribes still refuse to fish in certain waters or enter parts of the forest after dusk, not from fear of jaguars, but of what cannot be seen, only felt. Perhaps these tales are remnants of an ancient memory, of creatures once real, whose legacy now lingers as myth. Or perhaps in a place as vast and unknowable as the Amazon, the line between reality and legend is simply too blurred to draw. Here, myth breathes, and monsters never true. The Amazon's future, an urgent mystery. For millennia, the Amazon has endured. It has survived ice ages, shifts in the Earth's orbit, and the rise and fall of civilizations beneath its canopy. It has reshaped itself with every flood, healed after every fire, and given life to a continent. But now, it faces a threat unlike any before, one not born of nature, but of us. Each year, millions of trees vanish. Deforestation, driven by cattle ranching, soybean farming, and illegal logging, strips the forest bare at an accelerating pace. In 2023 alone, over 13,000 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest were lost, an area nearly the size of Lebanon. But trees are only the beginning. Illegal mining poisons the rivers with mercury. Fires, many deliberately set, rage uncontrolled, turning lush canopy into ash. And as climate change tightens its grip, the Amazon's rainfall patterns shift. What was once predictable has become erratic. Entire tributaries now run dry during the dry season, something unheard of just decades ago. Others flood with an intensity never recorded before. These extremes throw the delicate web of life into chaos. Fish migration disrupted, plant pollination cycles broken, and entire species vanishing before scientists even have a chance to name them. And in the heart of this unraveling tapestry are the indigenous communities who have called this forest home for thousands of years. Many hold knowledge that modern science is only beginning to grasp, about medicinal plants, climate cycles, and how to live in equilibrium with the land. Their stories, songs, and rituals encode ecological data that no satellite can detect. Yet their lands are being stolen, their rivers contaminated, their voices silenced. The future of the Amazon is no longer a local issue. It is a global one. The forest generates 20% of the world's oxygen, stores billions of tons of carbon, and influences weather patterns across continents. To lose it would not just be a tragedy for South America, it would be a turning point for the planet. So now, more than ever, there is an urgency, not just to protect the forest, but to uncover its remaining secrets before they vanish forever. The Amazon is not just a river, it is a mirror of Earth's ancient memory, a breathing, shifting, whispering world filled with forgotten cities, buried rivers, and beasts from long ago. If you've been captivated by the myths, mysteries, and modern-day marvels of this extraordinary river, give this video a like, share it with fellow seekers of the unknown, and most importantly, subscribe to Myths and Mysticism of Rivers. The river flows on, and so do the stories. Until next time.